Hey everyone, and welcome back to NexLore Game Analysis. Today, we're diving back into The Mimic, a familiar horror series on Roblox. Over a month ago, the series released a brand new chapter, Chapter 1 of Rage's book. If this is your first time hearing about The Mimic, here's the story and lore behind the series. The Mimic is a game set in Japan, following different characters as they battle supernatural forces. The series consists of 4 stories centered on 4 beasts: control, jealousy, rage, and rebirth. Rage's book, which we'll be covering in this video, is the 3rd story in the overall series. Rage's book takes place in a world where humanity has accepted the supernatural as real. To protect national security, the Japanese government formed a special organization to study and contain yokai threats, known simply as the IJO. The story follows Shyon, a female IJO field operative. Shyon and her teammates, Mika and Hideo, are sent to a town to eliminate a newly discovered type of yokai called the Garda. After defeating several yokai, Hideo recklessly turns the mission into a competition. The team splits up to eliminate the rest, then regroups at the school's main gate. While hunting, Shyon hears Mika scream and follows the sound, finding her trapped in a massive yokai grip. Shyon gives it everything she has, but still fails to save Mika, and the yokai manages to escape. Mika's death leaves her completely shocked. Trembling, she radios Hideo, but gets no response. When Shyon reaches the school gate, she finds Hideo sitting there. He has been badly injured. After telling him what happened to Mika, Shyon helps Hideo take shelter inside the school. As she scouts the area, Shyon realizes the students have somehow been transformed into yokai. After treating Hideo, the two head upstairs to investigate, but are suddenly attacked by the same yokai that killed Mika. It grabs Hideo and throws him through a window. After destroying the creature's power source, Shyon leaves the building and soon notices a faint white light glowing through the fog. As she gets closer, Shyon realizes the light is coming from a 2-tailed cat. She follows the cat, which leads her to a tunnel, but the entrance has been blocked. The yokai from the school suddenly appears behind her. Just as Shyon seems certain to die, the impossible happens. The 2-tailed cat kills the creature. The cat then clears a path, allowing Shyon to enter the tunnel. The tunnel leads Shyon to an underground IJO research facility. The facility is under lockdown. Inside, Shyon finds a military laptop with footage of an IJO strike team planting explosives to destroy a chained yokai. The operation ends in disaster. They fail to kill the creature, and the entire strike team is wiped out. After watching the footage, Shyon realizes the yokai is still roaming somewhere inside the facility. After restoring power to the pipes and control systems, Shyon manages to trap the yokai in a containment cell. As Shyon heads down to the lower levels, the imprisoned yokai breaks free and slashes her across the back. She shoots it, but the creature refuses to die and evolves into an even more violent form. Shyon lures the creature into a trap and briefly believes it is dead, but it suddenly awakens and grabs her leg. At the last second, the 2-tailed cat appears, leaps into Shyon, and sends a surge of power through her body. With her new strength, Shyon kills the yokai with her bare hands before passing out. When she wakes in a hospital, she is shocked to find Hideo sitting beside her bed. Hideo survived being thrown from the school. He explains that an IJO rescue team found Shyon, along with the bodies of 2 powerful Shiki, one near the tunnel entrance and another where she collapsed. He questions how she defeated both alone, but Shyon is still struggling to process everything that happened. Hearing this, Hideo tells Shyon to take some time to rest, because their war against the yokai has only just begun. And that concludes Chapter 1 of Rage's book. Now, let's move on to the analysis. Compared to the previous 2 books, Rage's book takes a more straightforward approach. Humanity now knows yokai exist and is researching ways to stop them. This shift makes sense after Jealousy's book, when Inunaki, the beast of jealousy, and its servants attacked cities across Japan. That disaster led to the creation of the IJO, an agency dedicated to researching and containing supernatural threats. Shyon, our protagonist, works as one of its field operatives. Shyon and her 2 teammates are sent to eliminate yokai in a remote town, but the mission turns deadly when Mika is killed by one of the creatures. A document inside the research facility explains why these creatures appeared in the town. The document describes a tunnel, the same tunnel that leads Shyon to the IJO's underground facility, long before the facility was built. The townspeople called it the Inunaki Tunnel. That name is commonly associated with tunnels rumored to contain supernatural activity. The story began when the organization investigated strange phenomena within the tunnel and discovered a massive underground pit containing valuable resources. The IJO quickly built a facility at the site, initially for resource extraction, but as more yokai emerged from the abyss, their numbers continued to grow. The IJO then shifted to containment, preventing the yokai from reaching the surface. According to the organization, their growing numbers can be traced to a single entity, the Abyss Yokai. It was first found chained and covered in sealing talismans. As casualties continued to rise, IJO leadership approved an operation to destroy the Abyss Yokai once and for all. This was the operation shown in Shion's footage. The strike team tried to kill the creature with explosives, but failed. This reveals that the Abyss Yokai in the IJO's records is actually Netamo, the Beast of Rage. After the IJO's failed operation, Netamo appears to have escaped its sealed chamber, and since the strike team members transformed into yokai after approaching it, we can conclude that Netamo is also the source of the creatures emerging from beneath Inunaki Tunnel and reaching the surface. A whiteboard in the facility reveals that the IJO discovered these abyssal yokai evolved through 3 stages. Stage 1 is called Garda humans corrupted by rage energy rising from the abyss, the yokai wandering the streets when the team first enters town. The creatures the students transform into also belong to this first stage. Stage 2 is called Muki, formed when multiple Garda merge together. The white creature in the research facility is a Muki stage yokai. Stage 3 is called Shiki, the final and most dangerous form. At this stage, the yokai becomes highly intelligent, yet even after years of research, the IJO had never encountered one. But during the game, Shion encounters 2 Shiki stage yokai. The first is the schoolgirl yokai that kills Mika, while the second is the white Muki's evolved form. One of the notes also reveals that a Shiki becomes stronger and more unstable, the closer it is to Netamo, the Beast of Rage. The Shiki found inside the school also has a tragic backstory. Before becoming a monster, she was a student named Akari, who was constantly bullied by her classmates. One day, she discovered the entrance to Inunaki Tunnel and felt an unusual sense of peace whenever she stood inside. She began telling the tunnel about everything she had been through, and somehow it seemed to listen to her. Akari was furious at the classmates who tormented her and wanted them to be punished. Then a voice emerged from the darkness of the tunnel, promising that it would set Akari free. From this, we can assume the voice inside the tunnel was Netamo. It sensed Akari's growing rage, manipulated her emotions, and transformed her into a yokai. Now, let's discuss the 2-tailed cat seen throughout the chapter. In Japanese folklore, this creature is known as a Nekomata. It clearly wants to protect Shyon, even granting her the power needed to defeat the Shiki. However, its reason for helping her remains unknown. Based on earlier mimic lore, Shyon may be a descendant of a samurai who fought alongside Kusunoki Masashige during the battle to seal the four beasts. The Nekomata could be that samurai's guardian spirit, or perhaps it is fulfilling an ancient promise. For now, this remains only a theory. And since this is only chapter 1 of Rage's book, the story has barely begun. Mika's sudden death, Haido's suspicious behavior, and the secrets surrounding the IJO suggest that the organization may not be as trustworthy as it seems. We'll have to wait for future chapters to uncover the truth. And that concludes NexLore's analysis of Rage's book, Chapter 1 in the Mimic. If I missed anything or something doesn't add up, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to NexLore Game Analysis. I'm Nex, and I'll see you in the next video.
Shiroki